Alright, so it took about 3 months after making my previous video on how to identify titanium fake Jacques Mage sunglasses for another one of my subscribers to get duped into buying a pair off a very popular auction website. He paid $150 and the seller said they were from New York City, and sure enough, after buying them, they updated with a tracking number immediately, but then the tracking was very slow and it ended up taking over a month to receive the pair of sunglasses. And then after that, the return policy had actually already expired when he opened them up and realized that they were a fake pair of sunglasses and sent me photos to confirm. So he sent these out to me to make a video on how to identify fake acetate Jacques Mage sunglasses. So again, the original video was titanium, this is an acetate. And in this video, I'm gonna try to make it as wide of a scope as possible to show you everything to look for in a fake pair of acetate Jacques Mage sunglasses. I'm not going to, make 100 different videos on all the different acetate models. I'm gonna make one video showing you everything you need to look for when it comes to acetate Jacques Mage sunglasses. So let's go ahead and jump into the unboxing of this pair of sunglasses. All right, so first off, let's take a look at the box that the fake sunglasses came in. And here we can see it is way thinner than it would be on an authentic pair of sunglasses. Second off, there is no hinge attachment. So normally a pair of Jacques Mage sunglasses, the hinge is going to stick out like this and it's going to be attached with some ribbon. Here, there's no ribbon or anything like that. Next off, we got to take a look at the case. And the first thing we can really notice here is how light of a color this fake leather is. So normally it's going to be much darker. This is much more lightweight, but it does say a handmade in Italy, and then it does have the little logo there as well. Popping up top, we can see it's a little bit more red than it is maroon on a real pair of sunglasses. It's gonna be a much more darker red right there. Now let's take a look at the actual sunglasses themselves. And this is gonna make it super easy to identify these are a fake. Here on the sticker, it actually says that it is made in Japan and it says Luxottica Group. So for those of you who are not familiar with the optical industry, Jacques Mage sunglasses are not produced or affiliated with Luxottica at all, like whatsoever. So that is gonna be the telltale sign this is a fake pair of sunglasses right off the rip, is the fact that it does say Luxottica and has like a Luxottica sticker here as well. Now let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at the actual frames themselves here. Here we can see, at first glance, they actually don't look too bad. We can see the little arrow logos there, and they do have a little sleeve to protect the temple here as well. We can also see they have very chunky temples, just like would be found on a real pair of these sunglasses. But if we take a really close look at the hardware, we can see some polishing compound that was not removed, and that's definitely not gonna be there on a real pair of sunglasses. That is completely unacceptable, and it really looks bad. Now again, I can scratch that off, and it probably would look a lot better if I just buffed that out for just a couple seconds. But that looks absolutely terrible for a new pair of sunglasses, especially if you're paying around $900 for them. Now the metal stem actually looks pretty decent here. It looks like it's lined up nicely as well. But if we take a look here at the inside of the acetate, we can see it also looks like it has not been polished properly as well. And there's actually some sharp elements here. So if you rub your finger on here, you can almost get cut. Very sharp, and again, it's gonna be perfectly smoothed and polished on a pair of real JMM sunglasses. Now, the next thing we wanna take a look at is the hinges. And these do have 7-barrel all-metal hinges, and these actually feel really good when opening up and closing them, just very substantial and nice. They feel honestly very similar to an authentic pair of Jacques Mage sunglasses, just really nice and very beefy hinge there. And they also copy the look of this very nicely. Now, another telltale sign is gonna be when your pair of sunglasses says 00 out of 250. The only reason why a pair of Jacques Mage sunglasses would ever say 00 out of 250 is if you sent your pair of sunglasses out to the company for service, they do have some replacement temples and it would say 00 out of 250. But again, you never receive a brand new pair of sunglasses with the model number 00 out of 250. So that's really another dead giveaway that the pair of sunglasses is fake. Now, if we take a look here at the inner left temple of the sunglasses, we can see the little family crest logo, which is actually pretty nice, and they did a good job copying that. That actually looks really good. Surprised that they were able to pull that off so nicely. And then the text here looks really good and is in the correct spot as well. Then we can see a serial number is going to be etched on the frame right here, and that's just the same way that it's going to be found on authentic pair of JMM sunglasses. And then we can also see the little Japanese logo there as well. So overall, they did a really decent job faking this pair of sunglasses as far as getting all the little details right here. But in just 2 seconds, I was able to, of course, identify that these are definitely a fake pair of sunglasses. And the last really big thing here is the quality. These frames are actually going to squeak. So if I put the microphone up to them and actually kind of move them a little bit, you can hear that they are definitely squeaking a lot. And that is definitely not going to be the case on an authentic pair of Jacques Mage sunglasses. And also when you handle them and kind of flex the frames, you can just feel that they are not an authentic pair of sunglasses. They feel fake. They do not feel high quality as they should. Another thing to look for is the quality of the acetate. The acetate on this particular pair of sunglasses is not nice at all. The colors of the tortoise is really not good. Seems very cheap, and normally would be absolutely beautiful on a pair of Jacques Mage sunglasses. Using the Japanese acetate, this clearly is not a Japanese acetate, and because of this, the colors are not going to be nearly as good as it would be on a real pair of sunglasses. Now, something that I forgot to mention when filming this video is every authentic pair is going to come with a little card just like this, and it's going to say X out of 450 or X out of 250, depending on how many were made for that limited edition pair. Now, I do have to admit here that the overall quality of these frames is actually pretty decent. Definitely not worth anywhere near $800. It's severely lacking as far as the real attention to detail and finishing here. But again, the hinges feel absolutely fantastic, and they did a really good job copying this pair of sunglasses. It's a shame that companies in China are making these fake sunglasses instead of actually spending effort and time in developing their own premium eyewear lines. It's annoying that they just rip off companies and they rip off designers of their hard-earned money by making these fakes. But again, the quality here is actually really not too terrible, and I would say it's definitely a lot higher quality than something like a pair of original Ray-Ban Wayfarers. As far as the material and the build quality elements, another thing to note here is there's going to be no anti-reflective material here on the backside of the lenses. So normally it would kind of make that blue hue of the AR coating. That is not going to be found here. It does, however, have a little JMM logo etched on the lens as well. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, it's definitely a shame that the company that makes these isn't actually making their own high quality eyewear, and maybe they are. It's just a shame that they are making fake versions of somebody else's hard work. So yeah, overall, a decent fake, that is for sure. Again, I would never recommend you buying a fake pair of sunglasses ever, of course. The lenses, again, are not high quality as well. They're just kind of the cheapest lenses that you can buy, kind of like fashion quality lenses. They're also not going to block 100% of UVA and UVB rays as well, so it's extremely important for your eye health to stay away from fake sunglasses as well. You're much better buying off a pair of sunglasses from a well-known brand that are like $40 than you are buying a fake pair of sunglasses as far as the actual UV protection goes here. All right, so the final thing that we gotta do here is I have to destroy these. So I'm just going to try to bend the hinges out and see how long it lasts. So let's go ahead and try to bend it. And here we can see the frame is flexing quite a decent amount, starting to get a little bit of popping here. And the first thing to pop out is going to be that lens. So it's just a cheap lens, again, no AR coating there, and the other lens just popped out as well. So here we have the sunglasses completely bent. Let me go ahead and bend them back and see if I can kind of make these look halfway decent. And actually, just like that, I was able to bend these out and make them look, you know, halfway decent once again. So I guess I'll just do it one more time and see if it snaps there. And it does not appear that it is snapping. So let's go ahead and bend the temples in more as well and just really twist these. And there we go. All right, we got our first break here on the top of the frame. And yeah, these frames are definitely no longer salvageable. And unfortunately, this is just something that has to happen on a pair of fake sunglasses. Oh, wow, that was actually super easy. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I was able to break off the hinge super easily, even though you have this really beefy 7-barrel all-metal hinge. As you can see here, it doesn't do you much good if it's not actually connected well to the front of the frame. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It does pain me to break eyewear, but this is a fake pair of sunglasses, and I want absolutely nothing to do with fake eyewear. It's absolutely disgusting. It's supporting criminal activity, potentially slave labor. They could potentially be a health hazard to your eyes. So please, whatever you do, do not buy fake sunglasses. And I hope this video was relatively helpful to kind of show you guys what you need to look for when buying a pair of these sunglasses.